This is the Galeon 325GTO. This is in fact the very first one into the UK. Approved boats through the dealers here have just brought this one in. It's already sold, but they've allowed us to have a good look around it. And I really want to show you this because it's such an interesting boat, as Galeons always are. Now this is about 32 foot long, but it's absolutely incredible just how much day space they've got onto this. And in fact, with a lot of these boats, what they really are floating islands. You go out, you drop anchor somewhere, you just have a fantastic day on the water. And what you want most of all is space, and this gives you that in bucket loads. So we're going to start right here at the back. Now she's twin outboard engines, as you can see. The standard engine is a 300 horsepower, and two of those, of course. This one's been upgraded to twin 350s. So this is a real fly machine. You're getting up towards 40 knots with this. A really quick boat, and then cruising therefore 30 knots very comfortably. Now there are a couple of options at the back here. This one has got the sun pad that comes out over the engines. It's really good because it uses this space twice. And in fact, you can see there are these hydraulic rams down here. So this whole thing can be tilted up out of the way if you're working on the engines. That's how you get to them. But there is an alternative. You can have, instead of that, this bench seat here, nothing here, and then the backrest for this one will flop the other way so you can sit facing backwards looking out over the engine. So it just depends what you want, but this I think works really well. In fact, you can lift this backrest here up and it comes up then level with this, so you can extend that even further if you want to. And the other thing you've got here, which is a typically Galeon feature, is this drop balcony on this side, and it just extends this whole area so much. It's a beautiful place to come out here and stand, and you can look right down the outside of the boat. You can put some extra chairs out here if you wanted to. It just really extends this whole space out around here. But the other thing it does, of course, is because you've got the outboards on, you tend to lose the swim platform. Normally on the back of a boat, of course, you've got the platform like we've got on the back of this one. You lose that with outboards, but you gain it back by putting this here. So that's a really nice feature. There is a ladder here so that you've got access into the water. That lives underneath there. These cleats, incidentally, these are all pop-up cleats. So if you are tied up and you're not using that cleat, you want to step on and off, you can drop that down out of the way. This is a little door that comes across here so that when this balcony is up, you've got this area secure. Brilliant, of course, if you've got small children on the boat. And then here you've just got this fantastic seating area all the way around here. There's the hard top on this one. This is actually open-sided. You can see them here and here completely open, but there are canopies, clear canopies that zip into here. So there's a zip there, they slide into that track there and they infill that, and in fact there is another canopy that comes from the back of here down. So this whole area can be enclosed if you want it to be, but obviously on a nice day to have it open like this is absolutely fantastic. If we head on through a little bit further, these seats have got storage underneath them, quite big storage actually, as you can see there. There's also this area underneath here and that is a huge area. That's brilliant for inflatable paddle boards, that kind of stuff. That there is fuel tank, and then you've got some of the engineering areas down there. Hot water, for example, is down there, battery down there, fans, that kind of thing, and so forth. So that's a very, very helpful area. Let's drop that one back down. And the other thing we have here is a socket. There we go, let's pop those down. That's to put a table in here so you can dine out here if you want to. There's more storage underneath there. Again, really big locker, very, very helpful. And if we come around onto this side then, you've got the galley area. There's no galley down on the lower deck. It's all up here. So you've got your like a barbecue effectively there, sink is in there, and there's a really nice size fridge as well. The other thing you might notice is this lighting. You can see it down here, you can see it in here, you can also see it even in places like the speakers and then across here as well. And this is all able to be changed from blue to white, so depending on what sort of mood you want, whether you want funky Miami Vice or whether you just want it to be clear white, you can select that however you want. If we head on forward then a little bit further, we've got the helm position here. These seats are actually height adjustable. There's a button on here somewhere. Let's have a look. Seats up and down. Here we go. So that one there. There we go. If you want to bring that up, you can do. But the other thing, which I haven't actually seen before, is there's another button I spotted here somewhere. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. Steering wheel up and down, and that one, we've seen the tilt wheel before, so this will actually tilt like that, but this one will also adjust. That way. So depending whether you're standing, sitting, what height you've got the seat, you can really set that up so it's a very comfortable position for driving from. If we come over here, these are the engine controls, of course, but this is the joystick. This allows you to actually, when you're docking the boat, you can push it to the side or you can turn it, and that will maneuver the boat depending on how you manipulate that switch. Push it backwards, the whole boat goes backwards, for example. But what's brilliant about this is something called Skyhook. If you hit the Skyhook button, it pauses the boat. Even if the tide's running and the wind's blowing, it uses GPS, and it will literally, so you could come up to a marina berth, the tide could be running, the wind could be blowing that way, you want to put your fenders out, hit Skyhook, and it will just sit there between the pontoons, exactly where you put it, until you release it and move on. So that's a very nice feature. This is the instrumentation for the Mercury, so that's giving you all the engine instrumentation, and then we've got twin Raymarine screens on here. This one we've got set to the Bahamas at the minute. I think that's wishful thinking. And this one is on tanks. You can change these, of course, if you go to the home screen. What else can we have? Fish finder. There we go. So that's now mapping the bottom as you go along. Obviously it's dead level at the minute because we're not moving. So that is that. A couple of other interesting things is, this is a little storage area up here. There we go. But this I like, there's a Venturi vent on top of here that's pulling air in, and then you can direct these. So on a hot day, you can blow air at yourself and the person you're with. That's a nice touch. Let's head on round a bit further. I'm going to do the deck areas first and then we'll do the interior. This is really where you get the full impression of the amount of space on this boat, because what you've got here is a walk-through. Now this will close off, so this whole area here, if I lift that, that goes up on a gas ram and clips into place like that. Then there's a door that comes across down there, and then up above me, this one here, we just pull that and that slides down, so you can completely enclose this if you want to. But most of the time you would run with this, that up like that, release that one, and then we're straight through to the front. That's the door there. That just comes across to complete closing that off if you want it. But this then makes a fantastic area for socializing, for chilling out, for having a bit of lunch, whatever you want to do. This is a great space, and it just shows on a 32-foot boat you've got this almost like a cockpit in its own right, another cockpit back there, the sunbathing area. There's so many areas considering it's such a small boat. And really, for a lot of the time with this kind of boat, you go out, you anchor in a lovely bay, and they're floating party islands, and this is perfect for that kind of thing. It's just absolutely brilliant. Table here, this is the table which you can move back and put in the aft cockpit if you want to. You've got stereo speakers up here as well. Again, there's that funky lighting you can see in along here. That's rather nice. And then right up to the front, that's down to the anchor, and the anchor winch is hidden in there as well somewhere, a bit further back. So that is the outside of the boat. Really big windscreen on there. That's that Venturi vent up there, so that's pulling air in when you're going along at speed, and just obviously giving that little bit of cooling breeze at the helm. That's a nice touch. Let's come back through here. These seats look good, don't they? Very smart. And then we've got this area here. Now this really is designed mostly as a day boat, maybe a weekender, but in fact there is a reasonable amount of space down here. Again, you've got to remember this is a 32-foot boat. But you've got a nice little dinette area tucked away down here. This one opens out like so. It's also on a telescopic leg. You can drop that down, and those cushions up there fit on top of it. You can lift that backrest up to give you a bit more foot space, and then that gives you a double bed here. So if you wanted to sleep on the boat, you can do. You've got decent sized windows in here as well. And what's interesting is this one here, they've actually put a cutaway and a window in the bulkhead. Let me show you on the outside. So you can see that there. And then with that window there, it allows you to see right out from here. That's a really nice idea. I like that. There's also, obviously this is a sliding door that comes across like so, but that again, a really big opening. So you've got plenty of light down into there. Then down here we've got the switch panel. So this is your mains system when you plug into the marina. Slide this across. Then we've got the the 12-volt system. So that's all your VHF and your pumps and all that kind of stuff is all switched from there. All these are on circuit breakers. Look at the fact they've even put little GTO logos on these catches for the sliding glass there. That's brilliant. Bit of storage in there, and then this is more storage. Another fridge in here as well, so if you just want to get yourself a drink of an evening, or you want a bit of overflow, that opens like that. What else can we show you? There's windows up in behind these. Again, with the windows in the bulwarks, so you can see right the way through. And if we come all the way around, this wood, a typical Galeon, you can have whatever you want in here. This is the cappuccino, but you can have a walnut, you can have high gloss, you can have the matte finish. So this you can trim however you like. I like these little stainless steel inserts they put in places like this as well. That's very classy. There's a head unit for the Fusion stereo system that's tucked away up there. Speakers in here again as well. So you've got different zones for the stereo that you can control it from. And then if we look into here, that's on a little magnet to hold that firm. And then that is quite a decent little heads area, really. There's a shower in there as well, so that becomes like a wet room. You slide this across to protect the door, and you can see the controls for it are down there. You've got a sink in here, and then you've got storage down underneath there. You notice the toilet roll. People say, well, doesn't the toilet roll get wet when you have a shower? No, because it lives in there on that. So when you're showering, it stays dry. And if we look on up, a bit more storage in behind here. And then this, if we swivel that, there we go. You can see there's a window in behind there as well. So let's reverse out of here because we're not quite finished. Close that one over. We can lift this step up here. There's a little catch right down underneath. There we go, that's that one there. That all lifts up out of the way. That's on a gas ram. And then down here, double bed. Now there's two really good reasons for having this. One is that if you've got kids, of course, brilliant. You've got sleeping for 4 people. Great for a family. But if it's just a couple, it means you can leave this made up as a bed full time. You don't have to keep making that dinette down into a bed and converting it back during the day. Just leave this as a bedding area where if you want to stay on the boat, it's there ready to go. I think that's fantastic. It's beautifully lit, as Galeons always are, with all this concealed lighting in behind all of here. And again, as I say, you've got to bear in mind this is a 32-foot kind of day boat weekender, but actually the accommodation for that style of boat is brilliant. Really good. Let's drop that one back down. There we go. Now I'm not going to show you the engine room, of course, because there isn't one. It's got outports and we saw those. So what I am going to do is come back up here. I like the way they've done this all with the writing in. That's a nice touch. And I'm going to finish up at this helm. Drop that seat down, sit myself here, and say there you go. That's the Galeon 325GTO. Really interesting boat. Hope you enjoyed that tour. Let me know what you think. Huge thanks, of course, to Approved Boats. They're the Galeon dealer here in the UK. I'll put a link to those guys in the description, and huge thanks to you all for watching. We will look forward to catching you on another one of these real soon. Take care. Bye-bye.